Hey everyone, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone is having a great week. Today we are going to the great state of Montana. We are going to be discussing an absolutely miraculous case of a young man who was lost in Glacier National Park. This took place back in early May of this year, 2023, Friday, May 7th to be exact. This young man we're going to be discussing, his name is Matthew Reed, 19 years old. He was looking to hike the Huckleberry Lookout Trail. As always, I'll have some pictures. Those of you that are not familiar with Glacier National Park, it is located in Montana, right here, sort of in the northwestern part of the state. If you look where that arrow is pointing, it's that red outlined portion of the state that is the park. Glacier National Park is roughly 1,583 square miles. The temperatures were in the 40s at the time in most of the higher elevations of the park at the time that he was hiking. The lower elevations, there wasn't much snow cover. Now what we know is that he arrived at the Huckleberry Lookout Trail in the Apgar Mountains on the western edge of the park that Friday. He was only carrying his backpack, phone, camera. He had a rain jacket, water bottle, various snacks, and apparently a book on bird watching. Now here is a map of the full trail with the trailhead. These are some pictures. Obviously this is more in the later summer months when most of the snow or all of it has cleared. Matthew's initial plan was to hike as far as he could before he got to the snow-covered area, and he was going to turn around. At some point, he did encounter some other hikers who had gotten to the point where there was a lot of snow cover. They told Matthew that the trail at the 4-mile mark would become too treacherous for him to continue. So Matthew reached this point, but for whatever reason, he proceeded to keep going. Unfortunately, at some point, due to the temperatures and somewhat melting snow, it could no longer support the weight of him and his gear, causing him to sink deep down and actually becoming stuck. Now this is an aerial view looking down at the lookout point. This is just a topographical map so you can get an idea of the terrain and how high the mountains are in this area. After Matthew had gotten stuck, he struggled for about 30 minutes. He was able to get one of his feet free. He had to take off one of his shoes in order to get the other one free. He was just struggling there just to be able to get on top of the snow. Unfortunately, after he got one foot stuck, another foot got stuck. It just kept happening over and over. He was attempting to go back up the mountain, and in these areas it's just very, very steep. This trail sort of runs around the ridge line. At this point, Matthew found himself in literally chest deep snow, kept sliding further and further down the slope instead of moving up. He basically came to the realization that he wasn't going to be able to get back up to the top. At this point, he didn't have any shoes on. Both of them had come off in his attempts to scale back up the mountain. He was trying to get up to an area that was drier, that he could possibly hike a little bit further, but trying to hike without any shoes, I can't even imagine. Unfortunately, he ended up sliding even further down into this drainage area, which was a very, very thick and dense, heavily forested part of the park. In this fall, he lost his phone, water bottle, some other things. All he had was his backpack. He estimated that he was roughly 1/5 of a mile east of the trail by the time he was able to get out of the snow that was waist deep. He was just trying to basically bushwhack his way back up to the trail. Unfortunately for Matthew, the luck just got worse. I mean, it started raining. The temperatures were in the low 40s. Just a miserable day. He was trying to follow the drainage, but with the poor weather and having no shoes, just everything coupled together, he was able to build a small shelter from some fallen trees and leaves and stuff that he found. He had been a Boy Scout. He recalled some things that he had learned there, so he used branches, various dirt, pine needles. He sat there under this shelter for roughly 4 or 5 hours. The weather started clearing up, so he thought that he would try and head or look for Camas Rd, which apparently bisects the trail at some point. Remember, this poor guy had no shoes, no water, no phone. He did have a couple of these lemon candies, which he quoted saying that they were just his ray of sunshine. He had something that he could at least eat. He said that it really helped keep him going. This guy had such strong will. I mean, it's just, the story just blows me away. This kid is amazing. He hiked for roughly another 2 hours through this thick brush and forested area. At some point, though, he realized that he really wasn't making any progress. He remembered back to his Boy Scout training that he should just stay in one place and wait for rescuers. So he went back, he found the shelter that he had built. However, he wanted to be in a spot where it would be more easier or likely for the search teams to find him. He was trying to get a little further back up, but that really wasn't working. So he just stopped, built a small little new shelter where he literally stayed and waited for 3 days with only these little lemon candies to eat. Of course, by this point, his parents had realized that he was missing. Something had happened. His mom contacted the National Park Service. They eventually found his car at the Huckleberry Lookout Trailhead. They subsequently closed the trailhead to make it easier for search and rescue personnel. There was roughly 30 people on the ground. They also brought in various air units, including the 2 Bear Air Rescue. I know that's kind of a tongue twister. These guys are absolutely awesome. Here's a picture of one of their helicopters in the area. I'll have some more pictures coming up. The search got started roughly 2 days after Matthew had started his hike on that Friday. They had been searching for 72 hours and they were starting to lose hope. Now, this is some pictures of the helicopter using their various technology. The 2 Bear Air Rescue Team was kind enough to release this on their Facebook. As you can see, this is heavily forested. It's very, very thick. This was what Matthew was walking through. You can see sort of in the middle, that's the drainage area. Now, this is where they picked up the heat signature. It's that white dot right there in the middle. That's Matthew sitting in his shelter that he made. As you can see, the drainage area. This is the crews coming down out of the helicopter. You can see the rope. I'm going to have an arrow sort of pointing to it. It was over almost 200 feet that they dropped the rescuers down. This is when they got him in the basket. They were lifting him up. Now, 200 feet, that is just unbelievably high up. I mean, I can't even imagine. However, they were able to get down there, get him in the basket, get him in the helicopter. They eventually transferred him to an ambulance. Matthew's lower legs and feet were at this point severely frostbitten. He was on the verge of becoming hypothermic. The ambulance took him to Logan Health Hospital, where he was finally reunited with his family. Roughly an hour later, they were all overjoyed. As you can see, his feet are all bandaged up and just trying to recover from this incident. But he had just so many positive words to share with his rescuers, such a great attitude. And that's what really saved him. His will and his attitude was just amazing. I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever been out in the cold and your boots get wet and you have to truck for miles in with cold feet, can you imagine having no shoes at all? Matthew was then transferred to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. There he got various intravenous fluids, hyperbaric oxygen therapy for the frostbite, intensive 100% oxygenated air, that apparently is what they do to help the body get greater than 3 times normal atmospheric pressure. At first, they thought they were going to have to amputate both of his legs because of the frostbite. As of late May 25th, they still hadn't ruled it out, but they said that because he got the hyperbaric therapies that it seemed to be working. So I hope and pray that they don't have to do that. This young man is just so strong-willed. He really did save his own life. He is just such a positive attitude, and I just pray and hope that he comes out of this fully recovered. He's a very smart young man studying chemical engineering in college. Glacier National Park is his favorite park. I hope and pray that he's able to get out there and hike again soon. I want to dedicate this video to Matthew Reed, his friends and family, all the doctors that are helping to get him better. Of course, to Bear Air Search and Rescue, all the search and rescue efforts that helped save him. My thoughts and prayers go out to you. Matthew, I wish you a healthy, speedy recovery, and you'll be on your feet in no time. Thank you for being an inspiration to us all. Thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, I love to hear your feedback and comments. You guys are absolutely awesome. I really appreciate all your support. Special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I hope everyone is doing well, and I appreciate all of you that have sent letters and supporting me. I just can't express my gratefulness enough. Again, if you want to be added to the Christmas card list, please make sure you put your address on there. If you'd like to submit a calendar submission, I will be making a new calendar for those of you that may not know about it. Next year, 6 months of the calendar will be pictures that I've taken, and then 6 months will be from you guys, calendar submissions that I've received from the various viewers. So I'll have that email address in the description as well. If you are able and would like to contribute to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. All my information is always in the description, but just leaving a comment is enough, whatever you can. I love all of you guys and all your support. This case just really touched my heart. It's just a miracle, this young man, his strength and his will, and I truly believe that he will be able to keep his legs and he'll be out hiking again before he knows it, and I just hope and pray that's what happens. If any of you are interested in the Yosemite coin giveaway, I'm going to be doing the drawing this weekend. All you have to do is leave a comment with a case suggestion saying you want to be entered into the coin giveaway. It's a beautiful bronze 3-ounce coin. It comes in a case, a display case, box, COA, the whole shebang. It's just a wonderful thing. So if you want to be entered, just leave me a comment. I'll do the drawing this weekend and then I'll announce it in the next couple days. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next time.